This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1147, 3 Wildcards for Boomer Retirement, by Darrow Kirkpatrick with CanIRetireYet.com. And I am Dan. I'm your host here on the podcast. I'm here every single day reading to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet. And for more content being narrated to you for free, covering personal development and much more, check out Optimal Living Daily. One of the latest episodes over there discussed our tendency to keep ourselves busy to avoid something we desperately need to take care of. This was a great post about taking one task at a time, and I would recommend listening to that episode. But since you're here, let's get right to today's post and start optimizing your life. 3 Wildcards for Boomer Retirement by Darrow Kirkpatrick with CanIRetireYet.com. The first wave of the post-war baby boom generation reached age 65 last year and finally started coming to grips with retirement realities. These are the same realities that anybody contemplating retirement in the foreseeable future must face. Unfortunately, the news is not particularly cheery. At best, modern retirement will be challenging. At worst, for those who didn't prepare well in advance, it could be heartbreaking. To compound matters, though the news is generally poor, none of it is very precise. In other words, it's hard to say exactly whether those clouds ahead will be overcast weather, a steady drizzle, or a downpour. In retirement planning, you're dealing with the future, never a sure bet. Here are 3 prominent issues where uncertainty swirls. Healthcare and the new law. With decreasing employer coverage, soaring costs, and more restrictive underwriting, retirement healthcare before Medicare at age 65 is increasingly problematic. The Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, passed in 2009, offers some hope for access to affordable health care for retirees. Key provisions of the law include a unified health insurance option available through state-based marketplaces, a ban on denying coverage or raising premiums due to pre-existing conditions, and a ban on dropping policyholders who become sick. But the lawsuit by the states challenging the PPACA is in front of the Supreme Court as this is written. The key issue is whether the mandate requiring everybody to buy health insurance exceeds Congress's authority. That requirement is of particular interest to early retirees because it would likely expand the insurance pool, increasing access to health insurance and reducing costs. Whether or not we're going to have such an enforced national health insurance policy is now up to the justices, and a decision is expected soon. But even once we know the immediate outcome, the true ramifications for our healthcare options are likely to take years to play out. New research into safe withdrawal rates. If you retire with significant savings but minimal pension or Social Security, how do you live off your savings? How do you know what you can spend each year without running out, given that you can't predict future investment returns, inflation, or how long you will live? It's a thorny problem. Simplistic answers, such as spend the average return on your portfolio, were disproven in the mid-1990s. The first phase of serious research into safe withdrawal rates produced the 4% rule, which has stood for more than a decade. It says that you can live on about 4% of your initial portfolio annually, adjusted for inflation, without fear of running out over a 30-year retirement. But new studies are seriously questioning that simple rule. The issues are many. What if stocks and bonds are overvalued when you retire? What if you don't spend the same amount every year? What if you put some of your savings into an annuity? The bad news is that, given current economic conditions, researchers are suggesting you should draw much less than 4% if retiring right now. But research continues, raising new questions, and perhaps leading to new solutions that combine safe withdrawal rates, annuities, and current market valuations in an attempt to generate safer, more reliable retirement income. Projected inflation. Loose monetary policy from the Federal Reserve in recent years has now reached an unprecedented level. Today's razor-thin interest rates and negative real returns are at historic extremes. Coupled with the government's inability to spend within its means, many observers predict that severe inflation is all but inevitable. They make a strong case, one you'd be wise to take into account when planning for retirement. Inflation has the potential to rob you of investment returns and years of spending power. But a puzzle remains. Extreme inflation hasn't appeared yet, and frankly doesn't seem to be on the immediate horizon. The rate of inflation for the past 10 years, at 2.4%, is actually well below the historical average, and current fears tend towards economic contraction, usually associated with low inflation or even deflation. A reasonable conclusion would be that while inflation remains a strong possibility in the future, it's not an immediate threat. Trouble is, retirement timeframes extend well into the period when severe inflation could become a problem. So will it rise precipitously as many predict? And if so, when? Looking for a winning hand. Those are three of the most important and most unpredictable of the retirement wildcards facing baby boomers: healthcare, safe withdrawal rates, and inflation. With so many unknowns and so much grim economic news on the horizon, pessimism would be understandable. But it is always possible that things could turn out better than expected. Parts of the new law could actually improve healthcare coverage and lower costs. New research may yield a hybrid retirement income model that will let us maximize our spending while enjoying security and peace of mind. Inflation could continue, as it has for many years, to be tamer than predicted. As you approach retirement, it's wise to prepare for the worst, but continue to hope for the best. The current headlines have certainly dashed our simplistic beliefs in a rosy future, but things don't usually turn out as badly as imagined in our worst fears. In most card games, the wild card is an unknown quantity for only so long. Once it's finally in our hand, we can play it to our advantage. You just listened to the post titled 3 Wildcards for Boomer Retirement by Darrow Kirkpatrick with CanIRetireYet.com. And I'm going to have some comments about the post, but first, is your home Wi-Fi struggling to keep up these days? Can it handle streaming, gaming, video conferencing, and homeschooling? What about all at once? Sounds like it's time for a Wi-Fi upgrade. Bring your Wi-Fi up to speed with Orbi Wi-Fi 6 from Netgear. Wi-Fi 6 is a whole new kind of Wi-Fi. It's the latest tech that gives you the fastest speeds possible even as you connect more and more devices throughout your home. That means you'll be able to stream without buffering, eliminate lag while gaming, and connect more devices to your Wi-Fi than ever before. It's like upgrading your Wi-Fi to first class. If you're ready for the best Wi-Fi ever, you can get it today from Netgear and never worry about Wi-Fi again. Check out Orbi Wi-Fi 6 at netgear.com/bestwifi. That's netgear.com/bestwifi. And back to today's show, a big thanks to Darrow again for that insightful post. This post was actually written 8 years ago, but the 3 challenging points that Darrow laid out today, which were healthcare, safe withdrawal rates, and inflation, remain true for any retirees today. On another note, Chris Mamula, a partner of Darrow's with Can I Retire Yet, recently published a blog post on April 13th titled, "Is it time to rebalance your profile?" in which he shared his reflection on our current economic environment and some financial decisions that you may want to consider right now given what we're going through. We may narrate that post at some point, but if you're interested in reading more about the topic of rebalancing your portfolio in the near future, I would suggest visiting CanIRetireYet.com, and you can find this post under Recent Articles, which is under the Blog tab at the top of the page. That's going to do it for today and another installment of Optimal Finance Daily. Have a very happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great week, and I thank you as always for being here each and every day. I'll see you back here tomorrow for the Friday show, where your optimal life awaits.